Hey, what's going on, y'all? Okay, so I'm gonna start the video off with a little apology. There was no upload on Monday, there was no upload on Wednesday, obviously. The reason behind that is I've been sick. I've actually, I stayed home. I had Mondays off. I actually tried to go fishing, didn't catch anything. The bass were just completely shut down. The weather we've had really cold nights, and I think the bass are just kind of like in that phase right now where they're not really eating anything. But anyway, Tuesday I stayed home with Ezra because he was sick, and then I ended up, nasty stomach virus, I ended up getting what he had. So I've been down with the stomach virus since Tuesday morning. I don't know, I was up a bunch like really early Tuesday morning all night, and yeah, so that's what's going on. But anyway, today we're gonna do a little favorite fall fishing lure thing, so this should turn out pretty well. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but kind of wanted to sit down and just go over the lures that I usually use for fall fishing. I know it's been done a million times by other people. The best one out there, I think, is probably Tactical Bassin'. They're little tutorials that they do for, all fishing, fall fishing, spring fishing, winter fishing. They do really awesome tutorials. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm feeling a little bit better today. I didn't go to work again. Be back to it next week. I'll have the weekend to finish recovering. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to promise we're gonna go fishing, but hopefully we do get to go fishing for a little bit. But anyway, let's get in there and go over the lures. Alright, so just to go over this lure right here, we have deep crank, square bill, shallow crank, top water, top water, top water, top water, lipless, lipless. We have different kinds of different setups of swim baits here: chatterbait, spinnerbait, swim bait, bigger swim bait, jerk bait, of course, smaller jerk bait. Yeah, so we're gonna go over this, and I'll tell you why I choose each one of these. And stop the video right now and comment below. Does anyone see a pattern here? What do all these mimic? Yeah. Alright, y'all. So I think what we're going to do is we will start. I know that the curtain's going in the background here. I'm just going to leave it go because bring a nice cool fresh breeze in, and we want that. Okay, so let's start with topwater. We'll start with topwater. So in the fall time, what we're trying to do with all these, we are trying to mimic shad and other kinds of bait fish. So, for instance, buzzbait. The buzzbait, I have gone out there. This one has the clacker and everything. This thing is the booyah. I've gone out there with the buzzbait before, and I could sit there and do that all day. I've gone out there with the buzzbait before, and absolutely wrecked them when the water was 53 degrees, somewhere around there. So 50 degrees. I never caught one off of a buzzbait in less than 50 degree water, so I'd say probably keep it low 50s and up. But yeah, that right there. And for some reason I do better with the darker color for the buzzbait, so black buzzbait. You could probably go out there with white as well, that kind of mimics shad, but mostly what they're going after is that sound anyway, just a reaction strike. Word of advice: trailer hook. Put the trailer hook on there. You get so many short hits on a buzzbait, it's not even funny. So trailer hook, that increases your hookup ratio a lot. Next, and there are different styles of this bait. That is the Bass Pro Shops XPS. It's kind of like the KBD Strike King Sexy Dog. Look, I've caught so many fish off of that. Look at that. It's all tore up. Anyway, this lure right here is great. It's a walk the dog style bait. You can use a Spook Junior. You can use just about anything that walks the dog. What's the other? A Heddon Spit and Image. Spit and Images work awesome. They're really easy to walk the dog if you're not too good at walking the dog either. This one I noticed, I had to change the hooks on it because the hooks were crap on it. Changed over to the Gamakatsu, the red number 6, I think. Anyway, changed over to those. They're super sharp, but I noticed on this lure, since it's so light, I fish this with braid. A lot of the time when I cast it out there, the line will get hung up around the hook, so that is a problem. But you can throw this out, you know, walk the dog with it, pause it, maybe like twitch, just pop it. And this one actually like pops down and then up, so it looks a lot like a wounded bait fish. But again, you can use just about any style walk the dog bait. Right here, that lure right there, I think I have caught more fish off. This is a Rebel Pop R. I think I've caught more fish off of this bait. I think it's mostly because of this tail. That tail just drives me crazy. I've been wanting to take this bait right here and actually put one of these tails on it. I have some extra ones. But this one, same thing. Pop, pop, pause it. Or you can just do a steady pop, 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 pop. Next on the list, oh, of course, you can throw the old Whopper Plopper. Whopper Ploppers, again, it's like the buzz bait, it's just making a bunch of noise. These right here are more of like reaction from sight and sound, both. These are more from just sound. But that's the 90. I've been throwing the 110 lately, and the 110 actually gets the job done better than the 90. You would think the smaller one would get the job done better, but next on the list, and this is a 6 Sense Crush, which is the best square bill. I'm not sponsored by 6 Sense, but it's the best square bill that I've found out there. The action on this thing is so cool, like with the wobble and everything. That I've been crushing them on. This is a bluegill pattern. You can see that. That's a bluegill pattern. I've caught a lot of fish off of this. I've actually caught fish in really cold water, like the winter time on this too. But that, pretty self-explanatory. You throw it out there, try not to get hung up in the weeds. For y'all that are fishing lakes or deeper rivers, right there, still a shad pattern. You can see that. This is a deep diving crank. I took the hooks off and put them on another lure, but I think I took them off and put them on a lure for Ezra. Anyway, shad pattern. This is a deep diver. I think this one goes like 10 feet or so. That's great. Sometimes those bait fish schools are suspended, or the bass will suspend right there. Get them down to the right depth. And you can get all kinds of different deep diving crankbaits that go the right depth, meaning that if you find fish in 8 feet of water, you can get ones that go between like 5 and 8 feet, or if you find fish that are in 20, 25 feet of water, you can get deeper diving ones. Those are the big, giant ones. Next, the lipless. The lipless is one of those baits where it's a simple bait and you can use that all year round. It works really well in the fall, especially in this shad color that I'm hooking into my backdrop there. This shad color, that one works so well, but the craw color works well too. Craw color works really well, I've noticed up around Raleigh, because they have a lot of crawfish in there, a lot of rocks and stuff. But these are, they're both one knockers, so those work great. You can get smaller ones. I actually have a smaller one that's like this size. I think these are half ounce. I think half ounce, and I think my smaller one's a quarter ounce. I don't remember. But anyway, the lipless, that's something you can either throw it out, reel it straight in. Sometimes they'll hit like that if you're just, you know, reeling it in, or you can burn it in. Sometimes you throw it out there and you yo-yo it, and I've actually done that on this channel before. Fling it way out there, you let it sink, and when it sinks, it flutters like that. And you rip it up, and it goes like this, and then you let it fall. And when it flutters, what that does is it looks like a dying bait fish, like a dying shad or something. Really, really cool. Let's see. Let's move on to one of my favorites. Alright, got weeds or something on the front. That bait right there is it's a killer. I've caught a chain pickerel on this, catfish. What else did we catch? We caught some good bass on it. caught some small bass. But that's the this is the Vision 110 from Megabass. That's got, see that? I've gone over it before, but do you see that the ball bearings in there? So when you cast, those go to the back and they get you further distance. So the whole thing with a jerkbait is getting it out there, getting it down to the depth that you want it, suspend it, and leave it sit there. This is a little tiny husky jerk. This is actually, I keep this in my ultralight bag. It's still really effective. It rattles really loud. Just let it sit there. It sits right like this. Jerk it on slack line, and you're going to keep your line slack. So keep your line slack, jerk it, and it rips like this, and then it stops. And then that's usually on that pause is usually when you get hit. But jerk baits, there are a bunch of different sizes of jerk baits. I didn't get all my jerk baits out, but this one, if you want to go a little more finesse, is really cool. And then this one obviously is my usual go-to. Okay, so swim baits. There are so many different kinds of swim baits. This is a belly weight swim bait hook, and it's got the screw lock. I try to keep just with the screw locks on it. I prefer the screw locks. I do have something like this that has the bait keeper, but this is just straight up. You put it on there. It's a straighter shank, just a J hook, and that I've caught fish on before. Depends on what you're fishing. This is a weightless. This is good if you wanted to take something larger, like this big Kitech right here. Take something larger like that and put it on here. It's got the screw lock, and then you can run it right like this. It's a wide gap to where it sets on the inseam of that, and then you're weedless and you're weightless, so you can actually throw it out and bring it past a weed edge, and you barely get hooked up on that thing. As far as the weeds, as far as the bass, you get good hook sets on it. Alright, so this is kind of a standard go-to. These are great. You can fish these weedless, you can fish them. It's just a regular Fluke. That one has the, I didn't dye this. That's just the, it's a different tail on it. But the standard Fluke, I got this one on a belly weight hook with the screw lock, but a Fluke has caught so many fish. I've caught some big fish on a Fluke before. This is your classic underspin. Those work great throwing an underspin. You get that flash just in case the fish are... I've thrown an underspin before, and I've thrown a regular belly weight hook, and I've actually noticed that sometimes they have to have that extra flash down there in order to come up and get the bait. And one other thing that I'll mention about when you're fishing these swim baits is when you're fishing a swim bait, when that fish hits that, you want to actually, you don't want to set the hook right away. What I do is I'll say something like, there's one, or something like that, just to give me a couple seconds. That gives the fish plenty of time to get that thing in its mouth. You can say, I mean, make up your own thing, but you can say, oh, I think I got a fish, or there's a fish. Make up something that's going to eat up a couple seconds. Sometimes if they're hitting really, really sluggish, then what I'll do is in my head, because I've been fishing for so long, I'll wait. Instead of saying something, I'll say, oh, there's a fish, or there's one. I'll wait just a little bit. In my head, I'm not really counting, but I am. So I'll be like, bam, and then hit it, because you got to give them time to eat that thing. Let's see. Chatterbait. Chatterbait's great. Makes lots of noise, so they're really great in dingy water. I remember we were at Falls Lake, and the water looked a little worse than chocolate milk water. And I brought this past the end of a log that was, the water was probably 2.5 feet deep, something like that. Brought it past a log that was right near a pier, a fishing pier, and I mean, it was actually this chatterbait right here. It was a different suicide shad. The tail got ripped off the other one, but anyway, brought it past there, and that bass it was a good bass. It was like somewhere between 3 and 4, but caught that. That was that one that the Mexican family wanted to eat, and I'm not crazy about killing bass, but I did give them that bass, but hopefully they enjoyed it. Alright, so this is another bait that is killer in the fall time, right there. And you can do chartreuse if it's really dirty water, help them stand out a little bit. Usually I throw that white War Eagle spinnerbait. It's on my Enigma Phenom setup right now, so that's why it's not in here. But yeah, that bait right there, spinnerbait. Spinnerbait in the fall time. You got all that flash. You can fish a Colorado blade if you want more vibration, or you can fish in Indiana. Right here, usually I fish the willow. This one has a willow and a Colorado. My other one has, I think my War Eagle one has 2 willows. I think it's a silver willow, and then back here I think is a gold willow. But anyway, that right there, that's another thing I usually have a trailer hook on. I don't know why I don't have one on that one. And moving on from the spinnerbait. Oh, again, spinnerbait, bunch of different sizes. You can actually, I guess all this stuff has a bunch of different sizes, but the spinnerbaits are, sometimes they don't want a lot of flash on the blades. Sometimes they want a painted blade. You can get these painted blades they work better up north, I think, but the painted blades with the eyes on them and stuff, those work really well. Alright, this one that I recently added to my arsenal is that Mike Buka Catch Co. Baby Bull Shad. This lure is so cool. That obviously is very, very shad-like. That thing, I'm excited when I finally do get to go out. I'm excited to get out there and fish this thing and catch some big fall bass on it. Hopefully this weekend, if I'm not still feeling like crap. Oh yeah, okay. So I wanted to remind y'all, 500 subscriber giveaway. We're doing the card. We're doing the Mag Slow Fish by Megabass. We're doing that giveaway. The winner gets the $50 Bass Pro card, and that's Swimbait. And which brings me to another point. Sometimes the bass want to eat bigger, so right there, throw a big Swimbait. Or throw a glide bait. You can throw a glide bait too. That's it. That's what we're gonna call it. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that. That's usually what I'm throwing in the fall time. Sometimes if they're getting real finicky, then I'll put like a drop shot on. But most of the time I'm throwing, you know me, I'm a power fisher. So I like throwing moving baits that I get to actually work, and I don't know, drop shot, you throw it out there, you wiggle it a little bit, and it catches fish. But that's just not my style. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure that you comment down below. I love reading the comments, and I try to answer every single one of them. If I'm not answering every single one of them and I miss you, call me out on it, because sometimes they get bumped over into the spam folder. And I check that. I usually try to check that like twice a month or so, but sometimes stuff gets, I don't know, stuff just slips through sometimes. But anyway, make sure that you share the video. I would appreciate that a lot. Y'all have been doing a very good job of sharing lately. My shares have gone up. But make sure that you subscribe to the channel, please. It takes you 5 seconds. Hit the little bell notification. It would mean the world to me. And once we get to 500, we're giving that Bass Pro card away, and we're giving that Swimbait away. So one lucky winner is going to get all of that. That's a lot. That's like 20. That's like $70 or $75 worth of stuff right there. Something like that. Maybe not 75. I don't know. But anyway, make sure you subscribe. I'll catch y'all next time. I hope to get feeling better. Hope to get out fishing. Take care.